Only on ABC 15, going against his wishes. A Mesa family losing their son and then suffering more loss even after his death. The donor network taking their son's corneas.
Even though he was never on the donor list. As ABC 15's Carla Navarrete shows us, it's an entire other side to the agency that gathers organs and tissues and gives the gift of life.
They came into our life at a time when we were having major turmoil and grief.
In July of 2016, life for Diane and Frank Toon changed completely.
He liked motorcycle, he liked mountain climbing.
On his motorcycle headed to work, their son, 31-year-old Christopher Toon, wiped out on his bike and within hours died. Right away, the Donor Network of Arizona was on the phone with the family.
So I grabbed his driver's license and I came back to the phone and I said, "No, he's not a donor." "Oh, yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is," she told me.
From then on, the Toons say their grief for their son was compounded with the persistence from the agency to harvest Christopher's corneas.
Our son had beautiful blue eyes, and we can't look at a picture of him.
Diane remembers her call to the coroner's office to remind them again of the non-donor status, but her plea went unheard.
Oh, yeah, Donor Network was here and they took his corneas at 12:05 a.m.
Attorney Melinda Sloma took the case of the Toons against Donor Network to court.
Through their intentional ignorance, after they were told repeatedly by our clients that Christopher Toon was not an organ donor, they turned a blind eye to that and they harvested his corneas anyway.
A Superior Court judge ruled in favor of the Donor Network because it wasn't a malicious act. The judge did acknowledge Christopher was not an organ donor, a mistake made by MVD.
It'll never be right. I just don't want this to happen to other families.
But the Toons attorney believes it could happen again because of Arizona's Anatomical Gift Act. There was no proof of malicious intent.
Because of that protective nature of the statute, essentially, there is very little recourse for members of the public to take against Donor Network of Arizona because that is an extremely high burden to prove.
This mistake became so obvious, the Donor Network admitted to putting Christopher's corneas back before he was cremated. Not only are the Toons appealing, hoping that their case now goes to a jury, they want the legislature to take action.
Because of that law.
Yes.
And that's what we need to get changed.
Well, the Donor Network of Arizona could not comment in this case, but they did tell us that since 2017, they have been going back and checking MVD applications to make sure that the donation box was checked. It is important because licenses between the years of 2008 and 2014 didn't have the heart insignia to easily ID donors. In the newsroom, I'm Carla Navarrete for ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, after all of this, the Donor Network is trying to collect more than $22,000 from the Toons. Their reason? Their insurance company is seeking reimbursement for legal costs.